All right, welcome to Hoops Tracker Special Edition. Jerry Howard, your host. We have Coach Antonio Grace from Berthoud. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it and excited to be here, man.
Yeah, Coach, been following you guys all season, man. You guys are one of the top 4A teams. Really looking forward to actually getting to see you guys live. But Coach, before we dive in, talk a little bit about your basketball background. I know you were coaching JV a little bit last year. I know when Coach Gibson left, you got the position, which is awesome. And then you've just picked up and you carried that baton, and you guys are off and winning and doing great things.
Yes, sir. Definitely some huge shoes to fill uh with Gibson leaving.
Yeah.
But coaching the JV boys for the past 3 years, having these six-pack games, I was always able to check out the girls, playing. So kind of seeing what girls have and things that they need to work on and stuff like that, even before I even thought about coaching them.
Hmm.
So just to dive in a little bit about, my coaching background. I've been coaching now 10 plus years.
Wow.
Started off while I was in the military, actually coaching, some commanders, kids, and
Yep.
things like that. And that's where the passion grew. I got out of the military at about 2014, and that's when I moved down to Colorado. Started off coaching at the very, very early stages of development with basketball, which was the YMCA leagues and things like that.
Yep. I know
Um,
that.
so, coaching them, it's very bare fundamental things. And, you're
Yeah.
pretty much the painter on a blank canvas. And those
Mhm.
things that they're learning at that point are pivotal for what they'll continue to do, on their basketball career.
Mhm.
Fast forward a couple of months after that, I picked up my first middle school coaching job, which was at High
Cool.
Plains School in
Yeah.
Loveland, Colorado. So
Mhm.
I started coaching the girls, and then coached the boys as well.
Mhm.
And, even from a very, very early time in coaching, I realized that the fundamentals of basketball was lost somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I saw a lot of folks like, hey, I know how to run this play and I know how to do this, but you don't know where the block is and you don't know how to set a proper screen. You don't know what it
That's
means
right.
to roll. So it was like, okay, so what can I bring to the table? And really what that was really developing some really great fundamentals within these children early on, and then being able to build on those fundamentals with the skills afterwards.
Mhm.
So with that, coaching middle school basketball, I took High Plains, I think, to the first time ever they actually made the playoffs. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I may be pretty decent at this thing.
There you go.
And then I met Coach Lee
Mhm.
Espinoza. We coached against each other in middle school, and he liked what he heard, liked what he saw, and he
Mhm.
literally texted me and was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about going to Berthoud. I'd love for you to come." And I jumped on it immediately.
Nice.
Um, so within that time, coaching JV basketball, the boys, I always still coached club. So
Mhm.
I'm one of those club coaches and trainers from State 38. That's where I started coaching club at. So shout out to Will Bell and State 38 over there. Um, but with that being said, I always coached the girls, even though I had the boys. And then
Mhm.
pretty much, 3 years down the road, I think I had a really good grasp on high school basketball, how it's ran, some of the things that are missing. And it just so happened that Gibson stepped down or whatnot. And it was like,
Yeah.
okay, it's time. It's
Yeah.
time. Talked to my mentors and they said, yeah, man, it's time. Not to mention that, I've seen and coached and trained a lot of those girls that were on that team for a very
Mhm.
long time. So it was more so just stepping over and bringing some energy and some passion to these girls, man. And they've been rolling ever since.
No, that's great. So I know, you've coached on the boys side, you coached on the girls side. What's your thought? What do you like about the girls side? I mean, girls basketball in Colorado is pretty good.
Pretty good, man. I would say the big thing or the big difference between boys and girls is the critical thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and also the decision making and the time.
Mm-hmm.
Girls are very analytical. Girls will listen and do exactly what you say, obviously, if they trust you, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they do that to a fault, right? It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you got to go set this screen right here, but there's not a person there. So why you setting the screen there,
Yeah.
So I would say the biggest thing is I love the way that girls listen and apply a little bit better than boys.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I was gonna say you've got a pretty stellar team. I mean, you know, uh, as I look at, Avery Pohl's averaging almost 20 points a game. Um, you've got another young player in Sophia Sig, but you've got a couple of seniors, Sydney Slauson and Kaylee Padilla. Talk a little bit about this Berthoud team because you guys are doing pretty well.
Yes, sir. I'd like to start off by saying multi-sport athletes, man, is it can be a blessing for you. It really can. If the conversations between the coaches and all that stuff is understood. So
Hmm.
with that being said, I think that that's one of the things that sets my team apart from a couple of squads.
Hmm.
I have multi-sport athletes that have seen playoff time, that have seen state,
Hmm.
championship games and things like that, even going all the way to my bench with, Shaylee Spears, who's state champion in softball.
Yeah.
Going on to what really helps us out a lot is Sophia, Sydney. I have another girl, Ellie. That's 3/4 of a 4x4 state championship um, track team,
Yeah.
so using and having the intellect and not only the athleticism of each and every one of these players helps us, but being
Mhm.
able to show them how to use what they're good at and apply
Mhm.
it to the basketball. And I think
Right.
that that's one of the things that a lot of other coaches and schools didn't really see with Birth It. They think
Mhm.
about the basketball talent and not
Mhm.
necessarily the athleticism that we actually do possess. And it's been a huge benefit for us so far.
No, that's great, Coach. Man, I've been excited. I know you got Timnath in your league. You've got Roosevelt. That's not that's not any cakewalk. I'll
No, sir.
definitely say you. But yeah, I mean, you're one of the top 4A teams. I know you're in the top 10 in the hoops tracker poll, and
Hmm.
and we're watching and can't wait to get out to a game, Coach. Hey, good luck in tonight's game, and then
Yes,
looking
sir.
forward to catching up to you on the in the gym.
Yes, sir. I look forward to seeing you again. But yeah, man, definitely not no cakewalk with any of those teams, but we ain't hiding, we ain't ducking. So definitely looking forward to how the rest of this season shapes up.
Now, one question, Coach. I got one question for you.
Yes,
You've
sir.
got a military background. You've done some really fun stuff in the military. How's that translating to coaching?
Man, being in the military, you really don't think about a lot of the skills and things that you learn that
Hmm.
actually translate outside. For a long time after I got out of the military, I didn't know what I was going to do.
Hmm.
But one of the things that I've always been really good at is leading people and
Hmm.
getting the best out of my troops, and
Hmm.
then now getting the best and bringing the best out of these girls. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I took from the military that I use a lot, and that's a lot of those leadership skills and capabilities. So yeah, that's about it.
No, that's great, Coach. Well, hey, man, good luck tonight, Coach. Thanks for being on the show.
I appreciate it, man. Look forward to seeing you. Peace,
All
man.
right,
Have a good day.
take